Boom. SQR podcast, Will Rosenberg. My girl Lele's in the house tonight. Choreographer. Yep. Let him know. Yo, let's do this. Come on, let's do this. We're gonna chop this up. We're gonna dig into her life. 2017, we were supposed to rock out, but now 2020, we're gonna even catch up on that podcast, dig into her life, and really get this right. Lele, superstar up next on the SQR podcast. Stay tuned. You're in for a treat.
Absolutely.
SQR podcast, Will Rosenberg, cracking it with my girl Lele.
Hey.
You know, I had to pause right there because I can't believe you're sitting across from me right now.
Yeah. I'm kind of shocked I'm sitting across from you too. Not shocked, but it's like, it's a long time coming.
You know what? I didn't want to begin this conversation without doing it the right way. SQR podcast, Will Rosenberg. Only here to we're designed to educate, entertain, and encourage. And we do that by really digging into my guest's story and their life right now. And the person across from me is an epic connected person to this because you were here when we started in 2017.
Yes.
You popped in, saw what was going on. We actually started digging into your life.
Yeah.
Something popped up. I think your daughter was ill and had to be rushed to the hospital.
Yeah. So we had to stop, and then it just,
Life came in the way.
Right. But we're here now. 2020 vision. That's
Jules, right out the bat. My sponsor would be so amiss if I continue this conversation without offering you a Heineken from that beautiful refrigerator.
Oh, absolutely.
Beautiful refrigerator.
Absolutely.
So before you turn,
Don't mind.
Yo.
If I do.
we have the 0.0, which are the alcohol-free, and we have the real Heine's.
Well, I mean,
Since you're a real star.
yeah, I can party with you one time for the one time.
Let's do that. Grab a Heineken. I'll open it up for you right here. SQR podcast where we drink Heineken responsibly. We also speak Heineken, and we speak Heineken responsibly. Bon. Toast. Let's do this.
Toast.
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Phenomenal moment. Phenomenal podcast. Phenomenal year. Phenomenal beginning to the decade.
Yes.
Lele. Choreographer. Influencer.
Yes.
Entertainer. Mom.
Yes.
And probably one of the most dedicated ride or die person you want in your corner.
Oh, wow. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, because I did my research and I realized that a lot of people, that's what they said about you. You know, in a tough time, she's there to be relied on. And based on just your energy and post or the behind the scenes conversation we've had, I realized that you are cut from a special cloth.
Well,
So
I've had big leaders ahead of me that I take after. My grandmother, my father, you know what I mean? So I've had some pretty dope people to look up to.
And you know what's so funny? Here at the podcast, we dig into those dope people because I know you're standing on some phenomenal shoulders right now.
Yeah.
So why don't we just slice into this real quickly? When you were born and you came onto this beautiful earth, what was the makeup of the family like?
Well, my mom and my dad are Muslim. So the household was very structured. We didn't get to do a lot of things that a lot of people get to do. And then my dad was a DJ himself. So he was into music. I was the third born. So I have two siblings before me. So my dad got us into entertainment at a young age. So I started rapping at the age of 2.
Which is pretty ironic because, and correct me if I'm wrong, all right? In a Muslim household, girls aren't given that opportunity to be on the front lines, really,
Right.
and to be rapping. What created
I
that?
mean, it's a little different. My mom and my dad are in the Nation of Islam. It's not really Islamic beliefs,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's kind of different. So, but my dad was God Body at first. His God Body name was Allah Love. So, I mean, he had a lot of wisdom, stuff like that. And I mean, with him being God Body, I mean, the FOIs and, Farrakhan, that whole group, they basically reached out to him, the FOIs, and they recruited him. And that's how him and my mom got into the Nation of Islam.
Oh, wow.
And my mom is still a part of it to this day. She's actually their leading secretary.
What's her name?
Treasurer. Lisa Muhammad is my mom's name.
Wow, salute. That's impressive. Yeah. Brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I have 2 sisters, one older, one younger, and then I have a brother that's older than me.
Okay. Wow. Fascinating. Born in the U.S.?
Yes.
Where?
Paterson,
Born
Jersey.
and grown?
Born and raised.
Yeah, there's some really iconic people coming out of, and I don't know if it's the water or the locale, but something special. This is
hidden jewels. That's all I call them.
Yeah, and what's so funny? That's a jewel you just dropped here, because the mayor was our guest on our last podcast. Actually.
Oh, wow!
And one of the things he was very passionate about is discovering Paterson, just like Alexander Hamilton did, and bringing that back on the map. So, Muslim household.
Yes.
Mom and dad are together.
Yes.
Everybody. You sound like the iconic American family, actually. High school, kindergarten, high school, that whole, kindergarten, middle school, high school. What was that like?
It was kind of different for me. Only reason I say that is because at a young age, I knew I was different from everybody. I went to public schools in Paterson. I'm not saying that I was better than anybody in the public schools. It was just that I felt bored.
In the public schools?
Yeah, I felt bored. I felt like I wasn't living to what I wanted to be. Like, I like singing, I like dancing, I like to perform. That's what I love to do. I did it since the age of 2, winning trophies taller than myself, Black Music Expos. They used to have those when I was little, but we won grand prize. I've been on the radio since I was 4 in New York City. So I was used to all of that stuff. So being in school and then them just talking about stuff that's in books, it was like, I don't know if I can do this. So I started to tell my mom I wanted to do other things. So in 7th grade, I actually transferred to a performing arts academy. It's actually called Performing Arts Academy of Paterson, New Jersey. It was located downtown Paterson. It's a school for gifted kids, basically. Everybody in there had a talent, but the whole school made up a choir. So everybody in there had to audition to be in the school. So everybody in there sang. But there was extra activities, like we had dance as a major, stuff like that. Continue on high school. I went to Rosa Parks High School. It's a performing arts high school.
Yo, big up that.
The only one in Paterson. And I dreamed of going there since 5th grade. So like I said, I've always had this
performing arts.
You know what I mean? This picture in my head. I'm like, I can't just stand still. Like, I know I have to be doing something else. I know I did. And then before I went to those schools, I played softball since 5th grade, basketball since 5th grade.
Here's what's ironic, and I have to go back to this factor. And I know you clarified it about, not Muslim. Right. But still, your parents seem to have pushed you out and supported this eccentric lifestyle.
Absolutely. My mom is just like, if you were to meet my mom, she's just like the total opposite of me. She's like so quiet and just so like a little mouse in the corner. Like, she's not, she's like really soft spoken and stuff. And then you see me and it's like, oh, how is that your mom? Like, to this day, people that go to Eastside, because my mom works at Eastside High School, they're like, how is that your mom?
Yo,
how is that your daughter?
Can we go toast to Eastside High School?
Yeah, absolutely. That's, we need to, since it's Black History Month, right? Only right.
Jewel from Lele as we crack into this.
Absolutely. So, like I said, I just always had a performing arts background.
But considering your mom was so conservative, where do you think you had that gene or that to be doing what you're doing, or to be as confident as you have been, and to step out of your comfort zone and own the stage and want to perform?
I think it would have to be.
I like that. No, because don't give me no Macy's answer.
Because I can say my mom, because my mom, even though she wasn't forthcoming like I am, like in public, she would do it in the house. Like, my mom loves to dance. Wow. She loves Janet Jackson. We used to watch, like videos, stuff like that, reenact dances from Michael Jackson's Remember the Time videos. We did it in the house.
Okay.
And my mom sings as well. So we always did that stuff in the house, but as far as like outside, it just wasn't something that she did. But she would always support anything that we did, regardless of anything that we did.
I like that.
It was, I'm happy. that my mom was allowed us to express our individuality. You know what I mean? Because I'm the only one of the kids that dances, sings, and all that, plays sports. My sisters didn't play any sports. My little sister was a cheerleader. That's it.
Wow.
So.
It's fascinating to hear the passion at which you talk about your lane, and at such an early age. And it's also impressive that mom and dad and mom pushed you 100% to get this going. And I think, let me rephrase that, I know that's why you're so successful now, and you're going to be even more successful in the future because you know what it's like to be supported. SQR podcast, Score Rosenberg, my girl Lele. We're going to finish. We're going to take a quick break, come back, get back into the transition from high school into what she's moving with right now. And guess what? Afterwards, a little surprise for you. Stay tuned. SQR podcast, Lele 1.
Listen up, everyone. We have been just informed that there's an unknown virus that's attacking all clubs. Symptoms have been said to be heavy breathing, wild dancing, coughing. So when you hear the sound, run for cover, motherfucker.
Misdemeanor on the floor, pretty boy, here I come. Punks in the bump, make you wanna hurt something. I can take it, man, I don't have to sex some. Hang 'em out the window, call me Michael Jackson. I'm a pain in your rectum. I am that bitch y'all slept on. Heavy hitter rhymes, spitter, call me rerun. Hey, 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 I'm what's happening.
SQR podcast, Score Rosenberg, cracking in with my girl Lele. You know, and what's so funny, when I look at your Instagram feed and I see what you're doing out here, number one, I'm only thinking, you are incredibly fit.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, what is the gym routine like? What is all that like?
I don't go to the gym.
What?
I don't like the gym. I don't like lifting weights. I mean, the only time I really went to the gym is when I played sports. You know, softball. You know, you gotta lift, 10 pound or whatever it is. But I'm not really a weight person. I'm not.
So how are you able to maintain the stamina?
I dance. But I dance in heels. And dancing in heels is very technical.
Right.
It takes a lot of support, arm work, core
Calf
work, abs, all of that, ankles, everything. I'm talking about all the way to the tip of your big toe. It takes all of that energy because your feet have to be pointed at a certain angle in order for your line to come out straight, which is your leg. You know what I mean? It can't be bent a certain way. It takes a lot.
So guess what? Before you leave here tonight, you're gonna teach Squirrel Rosenberg a little two-step move. I'm gonna get my lines right, but before we even get to that,
okay,
I wanna dig into everything that got us to here.
Okay,
I'm really curious about that. So we navigated everything. We're now that going through high school, you were very active in sports. The main person under your family that's really moving out here in terms of the physical activities.
Right.
Your transition from high school. When did you realize that, you know what, I want to stay in this dancing lane? Let me go back a little bit. Let me poke this question. What was high school like for you?
High school was cool. I can honestly say that. Like I said, I was always active. So I still play softball. I still play basketball.
What about the social activities? What about the social interaction? What about friends and...
I had a lot of friends, but I had a lot of older friends. I was a freshman with senior friends. Why? My mom was involved in the school district all my life. So my mom worked at Rosa Parks before I even started going there, my freshman year of high school. So everybody knew her. You know what I mean? The kids that had her before that knew her. So they all like, oh, you're Miss Brown's daughter. You're Miss Brown's daughter. So they all kind of like took me in as little sis type of thing.
Oh, okay. I thought there may be some hatred, like, you're getting preferential
I mean,
treatment.
there's always that, you know, but that didn't stem from my mom or them knowing my mom. It stemmed from me not letting them speak to me or treat me any kind of way because I was a freshman. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
You're a freshman, the seniors, juniors, they feel like, oh, let me freshman prank or let me do this or let me do that. And I walked in and like, no, we're not having that.
Wow.
So it was
mutual
like
confidence.
Absolutely. That's one thing I can say. My mom, my dad, my grandmother, they all instilled in all of us was confidence. It doesn't matter what it is. I've grown up with a lot of people in my family that have, deficiencies, disorders, stuff like that. So we were always taught to big up the other person. Doesn't matter if they're any different. My little sister, she's left-handed. She got picked on all her life for being left-handed. But there's a whole universe with people that are left-handed. Yeah. But we didn't understand that as kids. You know what I mean? So I helped her with that and stuff. So, I had a real structured high school life, I could say. I'm not going to say that it was everything I should have did. I dibbled and dabbed into the wrong crowds and stuff like that. Like, of course, but I wasn't. It was only because, like I said, I was so bored that I wanted to do other stuff. Like, after my dance rehearsals, they would be done at like 5:30, 6 o'clock p.m. And I'm like, I still want to dance, or I still want to do this. So it was like, I would stay out till like 10 o'clock. My mom thinks I'm being a fast, but it wasn't that. It was just, I'm really out here just dancing, or I'm talking about, band practice the next day, or I'm going over a song for school, because it's like when I go home, I don't have anybody to share that in the house with.
So you're invested with the friends and what would go.
Right.
So it seemed, and I'm glad you kind of skimmed over the more colorful side of high school. But
yeah, and I got pregnant my junior year. My senior year.
Pull the brakes. In Jamaica, we say holla and pull up. That's what we're not gonna go over here on the podcast, because here's what's interesting, and it's not about getting your business on Front Street.
Right. Of course,
it's about another young lady who is just as talented as you are, and she's like, yo, where does she get this confidence from? So let's just go back a little bit.
Right.
So going through high school, the wrong crowd, because I felt like, based on what I just learned about you, you had a persona that you kind of have to uphold because of your mother's role in the school and in the school district. But then again, you still got influence and pulled the wrong way.
Absolutely.
What happened? If we're looking back retrospectively, so we're going to look back like a fly on the wall.
Okay.
What do you think happened?
I think it stemmed back from a long way before even high school. My dad, I was a daddy's girl. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So my dad got involved in the wrong things. He wound up doing a little time, 6-7 years or something like that. And then I went to go live with my grandmother, which is my mom's mom. So I kind of felt distant a little bit from my family, because my mom still had my older sister, my younger sister, and my brother, but I was the only one that went away.
Why?
I asked my mom that, but she said it was because me and my older sister, we really didn't get along that well. So she couldn't really manage to take all 4 of us, but it was still like, so you just leave one out and take 3. That's what I was thinking at the time, you know what I mean? But sense. I had to understand, like, my dad bought a house at the age of 22 before he even got locked up. So my mom was holding out a mortgage at, my dad was 22, that means my mom was 20. You know what I'm saying? With 4 kids. So, but at the time, I'm not thinking, oh, mom's young. I'm just mad that y'all left me.
Yeah.
Where's everybody at? You know what I mean? So that was the kind of thinking that was going on in my head. But I think that was I was angry because when my dad left, I didn't have the music. You know what I mean? Like, when my dad left, I didn't have that outlet. Like, we literally had a studio in our basement. Like, literally a full-fledged studio, like a booth and everything.
You know what? I asked your mom's name. What's your dad's name?
Anthony Brown.
Let's toast to Anthony.
Yes, I lost him. It'll be a year in April 17th that I lost my dad.
R.I.P. Anthony. Yeah. And I wondered if he knew the impact he was making on his daughter at the time. Because we do things as dad. I have 2 girls, and dad, I need this, and you show up, or dad, can I talk? And I listen. And you don't understand the impact you're making as a dad on daughters, and thank you so much for expressing that and being so vulnerable. But I salute him because, that connection you had was amazing.
It took a long time for me to realize what he was trying to tell me. But the mindset that I had when he actually came home, it was like, you left me. So it was like kind of a rebellious type of thing. So the daddy's girl kind of turned into the rebellious girl, where it was like me and him kind of bumped heads a little bit. So me and my mom started getting closer to each other.
Ooh.
So it was like, it really reversed itself, and me and my dad started getting like really distant, where it was like bad, like really, really bad, like where it was like I was questioning myself, like, does he even really love me? Is like, he's not supposed to be treating me this way. He's my dad. But The blessing in all of that happening is when he did actually get sick and he had his heart surgeries. I was able to express myself to him because my dad, he's a Capricorn, number one. And if anybody knows anything about Capricorns, they're not really soft, expressive people like that. And when they do express themselves, it's very aggressive.
Okay, very brash.
And it's like, listen to me. It's what it is. This is this. You know what I mean? Like, every Capricorn that I've known have been very stern in their beliefs. Any Capricorn, I don't care who it is, male or female.
Okay.
So, where was I at again?
No, you were talking about your dad's, passion behind the bumping head. I know that he was in heart surgery.
Like I said, I took a blessing in him being sick. Not the fact that he was sick, but the fact that I was able to communicate with him, because he didn't sit down long enough for me to even have a conversation with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really had a conversation with my dad like I'm having with you right now. Like, oh, how was your day in school? Or how did your baseball game go? Or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have that. So being that I feel like God sat him still so that I could talk to him. Because every birthday, it was like 4 years he went through the, his heart surgery and stuff like that, rehab. So throughout those 4 years, I would just drop like little letters or something. I'll buy a teddy bear, balloons, and I'll get him a card or something. But I'll write something in the card. You get what I'm saying? Or I'll just write down my feelings, a 2-page letter or something like that. And I'll just tell my mom to give it to him, because I couldn't even like watch him read it. I don't know why. I just couldn't watch him, but I knew he knew how I felt.
Wow.
In the inside. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I thank you. Thank you so much for being as passionate as you have been and dedicated to communicating. Because guess what? You had another option.
Yeah.
Which was, screw this, F you, or, the world's against me, but you.
Right.
SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg. Now I understand why you have been so successful and why you're going to even be more successful, because all the right ingredients are here. Not here.
Took a while, but they're there.
So you see, you see that scenic route, that journey is the shit I want to hear.
Yeah.
I don't want to skirt around that. And as I said before, it's not about getting your business up, but it's somebody to realize that if she made it or is making it, I can do the same.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take a quick break. When
Let's
I
do
get
it.
back in, I want to talk about the affiliations with a couple people that's moving out here.
All right.
The influence you've had on them and they have had on you.
Okay.
And when we close, you're going to teach Squirrel Rosenberg a little 2-step routine.
All right, let's get it.
Boom.
I'm ready.
SQR podcast, Squirrel Rosenberg. My girl, Lele. 1.
Smell like gas. Go pop into the gas. Boom, boom, boom. Get the gas. You shot my bitch and I push like I said. Check my bitch out, she bad. You just broke and sad. Gave me anything gas. But the road, but she got back.
SQR podcast, Squirrel Rosenberg, cracking in with this treat I am honored to have tonight. And I'm sharing it with the entire, not only the crew, but the entire audience that's able to dissect this. And that's why it's very important that you tune into the podcast. You know, we're making a shirt for you right now.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
My boy War, head of the whole design and merchandise department, is making a shirt to commemorate this moment right now.
Can't wait.
Yes, it's big. So behind the scenes, we were talking and I said to you how fascinated I am behind your vulnerability and your honesty. And you said to me that when your dad spoke to you at times, it was as if he was speaking at you, not to you.
Right.
And there's a big difference.
Big difference. It's a big difference when somebody speaks at you. It's like this kind of demanding energy that it's like it kind of locks you in a little bit when somebody speaks at you. And if you don't know how to handle that, it can turn really ugly. And that's what my problem was. I couldn't take people speaking at me.
So 14, 15, when he came back into your life from his little stay.
Right.
You are a young woman by then. Hormones, feelings are ever come into play. You took a colorful turn through high school. Considering the stock you were cut from.
Yes.
And the influences you had. What about that journey? Let's just go down that road for a little bit.
Wrong
crowd.
Yeah, the wrong crowd. Even though they were into the things that I was into, like we were all in performing arts, high school, stuff like that. Like they were just into the wrong stuff. Like some of them smoked cigarettes in high school. Some of them smoked weed in high school. Like I wasn't into that stuff. Like, so it was kind of like a peer pressure kind of situation almost. But I didn't fall into it because it wasn't my thing.
Okay.
I felt like we'd stink at that time, so I was like, "Ew, get away from me!" Like they all looked slow. Every time I went around them, I was just like, when you're the sober one, you're looking at everybody else like, what's happening right now? So that was the kind of situation
They
it
were
was.
probably under the influence of the indica strain.
Yes,
I
they were.
I was talking to my my senior animator, and we were having a conversation about that. That's why we were able to have this. But go ahead.
But I mean, now I'm good. You know what I mean? Like I'm the one that's looking a little slow. But at the time, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't my thing. I was really into my arts and really into what I was into.
Right.
But
that is amazing.
it was a thing where.
So the peer. So remember now, we're taking the scenic route.
Right.
Let's go in.
Yes.
So the influences were all these things.
Yes.
What was it? Or
it was just the people I was around were always doing stuff. And like I said, I just wanted to be active. I wanted to be in stuff. So this was the crowd that was always going to parties. This is the crowd that got invited to senior events. This was the crowd that got invited to,
hang out with seniors. Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was much different for me but I wasn't grown in that aspect. I just wanted to be out. I just wanted to learn so much at a young age. It was like, all right, give it all to me at one time. But I couldn't handle it at one time because I was always in fights. I've gotten jumped because of people I used to chill with. It wasn't even my problem. But just because they saw me with this girl or this crowd, I was involved with it. Like, it got to a point where I used to have to watch my back because East Side and Rosa Parks started beefing because, they call us the gay school.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like a gay bashing type of situation where they came into school, pulled out fire alarms so everybody could go outside. They start jumping people.
What?
Yeah. Teachers and everything. Yeah. East Side. If you ever look it up, I'm telling you, they have it in the paper.
East Side High School.
Somebody from East Side snuck into Rosa Parks High School and pulled the fire alarm so that everybody can come outside. And they basically, gay bashed, whoever they thought was, yeah.
Wow.
So it was kind of tough. And then back then it was like, it was different. People wanted to fight back then. So it was kind of like I had to learn how to defend myself because it was like people would really test you. We had girls in Paterson that used to brag about jumping people. You know what I mean? Like it was a cult of these girls, like just walking around, just jumping people. And they really used to broadcast it. So it was like, you kind of had to have that kind of mentality. We had more activities back then too than we have now. Pep rallies, you know what I mean? Like night football games. We used to have a lot of them back then. We don't have any of them now. You know what I'm saying? Things have changed, but it was more leeway to do more stuff back then, I guess you could say. Like,
And you did them.
I did them all. Like, yep, I did them all. Like, we meeting over here, we meeting there. Like, who we fighting today? We going this way? Call them. We about to call our peoples. Bring whoever you're gonna bring. Let's meet in the back of the building. You know what I mean? Like, it was that kind of situation because that's just the people that I ran with was just so ready to go, and I was too. So it was like, all right, let's go.
So I can ask you this: what would you tell young Lele back then?
Calm down. Relax. Second, I would have second guessed a lot. A lot. Now that I'm thinking about it now, it definitely would have changed the outcome of everything, but then I wouldn't have my daughter, so I can't say that.
SQR podcast, Score Rosenberg. What a jewel.
Yeah, so it's like a catch-22.
It's what a jewel. No, thank you for bringing. And what's so funny, let's speak up on that. Your daughter.
Yes.
All right, so
She's an old lady now.
what's her name?
Janiyah.
Shout out to Janiyah. What happened when she came into your life?
Oh, I was scared.
Can I go back to the first time you found out you were pregnant with her?
The first time I found out, I was scared. Like I said, my mom and my dad, they're Muslim.
Yeah.
That's not, I was trying to hide it. I'm like, my mom's like, yeah, because my daughter, you know how your mother speaks so highly of you in front of people. Like, yeah, baby girl, she's good. She's doing this. She's not in trouble. She's not. Then I'm just looking in the back like, It was that kind of situation.
That's
but it
tough.
happened fast. It happened really fast. I wasn't a fast girl.
What? Getting pregnant?
Yeah, it happened fast. I lost my virginity at 17. And I lost it 2 weeks after my birthday, which is in May. A couple months later in October, nothing happened with my body, females, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what's happening right now? Like, I knew something wasn't right. And then November came and nothing. So then her father, my daughter's father, actually was like, I think you need to go to the hospital. And this is when Barnett Hospital was still open.
Yeah.
We went to Barnett Hospital, and that lady had to put 3 sticks in the cup in order for me to believe her. Because I was sitting in there like, lady, no. Like, no, this cannot be happening. I just thought of my mother killing me, my father killing me. I'm like, lady, no, we cannot.
How old were you at this stage?
I was 17.
17 and pregnant.
17. Yeah.
Your guy at the time. What was his reaction to that news?
He was ecstatic.
What?
He was really happy. Reason being is because we fell in love with each other. I'm gonna tell you a secret. Okay, so my daughter's father, he knew that I really didn't like men when I met him.
Oh.
So we started off as friends at first.
Okay. So hold up. So are you saying you played for the other team?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So
Plot twist.
Score Rosenberg. This is what we do. We dig in and find out what we need to find out to make sure we realize that what we're realizing. So, you're playing for the other team at this, but that's a pretty young age.
No. I wasn't. What it was I understood that I liked women, but I understood that it was not accepted in my household. So I hid it from my parents. I hid it from myself. I had never had an experience with a woman, nothing, but I just knew my feelings, but I knew they were wrong to feel like that. You get what I'm saying? So I actually met my daughter's father through a mutual friend. We wound up chilling with each other. We had a bomb friendship. I met him when I was 13. He was 14.
Okay.
14, 15, 16, we were best friends, like, and then I wind up falling in love with him.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then I lost my virginity, and then pop. That's it. That's how that happened. So my daughter was definitely made out of love. I don't regret any of that. Ever. You know, even after he left me when she was a month old. It was a lot of stuff with that, but that's here nor there.
What a colorful journey.
Right. So my blessing came from, you know, me having my daughter.
You know what? I want to salute you for being 100%. Because you didn't have to share that side, but I appreciate it because guess what? I have to be aware that in today's culture, the debate about sexuality, the debate about what you are, and you know, and it's I got to be honest with you, I'm an old school Jamaican. So it's even tougher to filter through my eyes.
Yeah, I know.
But I have 2 daughters, and I'm aware of what the environment that we're growing up in, and you know, I salute you for sharing that and navigating those waters. But what's even more interesting, as you said, you know, being attracted to women and knowing that from an early age, but still developing a relationship with this guy, and you still speak highly of him regardless of. That's amazing.
He's a dope individual. Like, I mean, as far as relationship wise, I can't speak on that. It was, you know, he
I don't want to
cheated,
speak.
you know, but as a man and a father, phenomenal. I've never had to ask this boy for nothing since the day she was born. You understand me? Like, nothing. And she's 13 now.
What's his name?
Adam.
Let's just toast to Adam for being a stand-up dad and a stand-up man.
Absolutely.
Big up. SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg. You know, we take this slow, interesting stroll. You know, sometimes, you know, so for that in our world today, it's all about, let me get to point A to point B quickly. Slow it down. Let's have a conversation over Heineken responsibly.
Yes.
Let's learn about Lele and all the ingredients that make her the fascinating person she is right now. We'll take a quick break.
Yes.
The last set, we're coming back in. I want to find out what you're working on.
Okay.
The school, the dance school, the classes you're giving, how people can line up for that.
Okay.
And just what your goals are for this decade.
Okay.
SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg, Lele. I told you were in for a treat, and you got it. 1.
They asking for the queen to buy some cameras in here. I'm a bad bitch, she's a savage, no comparison here. I'ma flip my hair and look back while I twerk in the mirror. All this money in a room, think some scammers in here. I'm coming straight up out that third. Whip the whip like I stirred it. Wood grain, we swerving, keeping his mind all on these curves. Coop fly like a bird, cold on him like birds. Always keep my word, no I don't do crosswords. Sell you in a writing like them hot girls, them hits. I hop that shit the way I hopped up and slid. I pop my shit, now watch me pop up again. I mop the float, now watch me sweep up these M's. Savage, classic, bougie, ratchet, sassy, moody, nasty, acting stupid. What's happening? What's happening? Bitch, I'm a savage.
Boom, SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg, cracking in with my girl Lele. Actually, it's the, you say girl, I want to say woman. Because we navigated some things and you've shared some things. And I sense a lot of confidence behind the hiccups, the wins, the losses, everything that you've experienced, which is profound.
Yes.
Let's own those things. Let's own the wins. Let's own the losses. So as we get ready to close on this fourth segment, we needed this. Dan, our sound guy, said, when is the fire department or the police department is going to go by to let people know where we're at? Yeah, this is Paterson, New Jersey. They're working out here.
Right.
Officers and fire guys, hope you have a safe night tonight. Anyway, we went through the journey.
Yes.
Let's talk about having your daughter at a young age. That whole impact. Sharing it with your parents. And now moving forward. You now want to hone your skill.
Yes.
What made it become serious?
My daughter made it serious for me. My daughter started talking at 6 months. She started saying little stuff. 9 months, I can say she started getting really good. And then by 1, it's like she could have a conversation with you and you wouldn't even think she was 1. So her developing really early, she developed this confidence that was like, I used to look at her like, why is she just so ready to just take on stuff? You know what I mean?
Well, in Jamaica, we said the mango don't fall too far from the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. But it was just like at the age of 1, I mean, when you look at kids now, you say that like these kids are growing up too fast. But at that point in time, it was just a matter of she saw what was around her. I was always constantly working. Her dad always constantly kept 2 jobs. You know what I mean? I was still involved in arts. I still was dancing. I still was doing fashion shows, because I model as well. So I do a lot of runway shows and stuff like that. So her traveling with me, doing all of that, that sparked an interest in her. So when I got down on myself, I believe she was about 4 or 5, I want to say. And she caught me crying. And I was just like, I don't know. I kept saying sorry to her because I never showed her that in front of her. You know what I mean? I tried not to
that
as much.
Side, yeah.
Because kids get affected by stuff like that. By seeing their parents go through certain things or hearing a lot of yelling going around, verbal abuse, that's very harmful to a child. Point period. I don't care. So like she saw me, she was just like, Mommy, it's okay. You'll be fine. Like, but she's not knowing that she's speaking life into me because she's just talking. You know what I mean? But
that's
she's
a
like,
jewel right there.
She's just like her dad's mom is very, she's a Christian woman, so she's very into like church. So she speaks to her a lot about God and, Jesus and stuff like that. And she's just like, she said to me one day, she goes, Mommy, Jesus knows your heart. And I do too. She was like, he knows what he wants you to do. You know what you want yourself to do. She was like, God makes no mistakes. 5. I'm looking at this little girl like, you've been here before. Like,
yeah.
But it was just like, that just showed me how much she actually pays attention to the things that are around her. But it was just like, whoa, like for this 5-year-old to speak life into something that she has no idea about. She doesn't even know what I'm crying over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to have that conversation with her, but it was just she didn't know. So over the years, she saw me get better at what I do, and she just kept telling me, like, Mommy, just keep going, keep going. She called me the GOAT one time. She said, Mommy, you're the GOAT. And I'm just like, what do you know about being a GOAT? Like, what do you... where did you hear that from?
I love her confidence, and I love her expressiveness. Can I ask you, now that you carved this lane, do you remember the first time you did a choreography, dance, whether it's a solo or in a group, and you failed?
Ooh.
You either failed or the reaction you were expecting to get you didn't get.
I wouldn't say I failed. I would say I got railroaded and okey doked in the situation. No, I did. Like when I explain this to you, you're gonna know why I said that.
Go in.
During high school, like I said, I used to be a part of an organization called Danny House. It was a youth community group for the kids of Paterson. Like it was a performing arts center for kids. I don't know if you guys know Father English.
Yes. Yeah.
We used to have practice down there all the time. That's where it originated from.
Okay.
We used to have practice down there, so we used to have showcases like twice a month. And one showcase, the leader of the organization, her daughter was in charge of the dancers. So she was like, she would make up like the choreography or whatever the case may be. Right. But this go around, I don't know what happened. I don't know if she got mad at us. This was like a third year into, the Danny House organization. We did a tribute to Usher when his Confessions album came out.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's a big record.
Right. So we did a whole little segment, like it was literally snippets of each song from that album that we did. Like it was literally a whole concert of just Usher. So throughout the show, she had spots where we had to make up our own choreography to the songs, but she did not give us the song until the day of the show.
So you had to cook it up
an hour before the show started.
Okay. Now we're under pressure. Okay, this is getting nice.
Sorry. When I tell you I wanted to cry, I'm like, it's an hour before the show. I don't even know when the song. It was about I say 25 dancers, but we performed at the college, and if anybody knows the college downtown, the stage is really small.
Yeah.
So we had to like kind of a team go out and then we go back in, another team go out and fluctuate around. You know what I mean? That's why she added parts in there, because the stage was so small. But I literally had to make up this choreography an hour before the show. This was my junior year of high school. I'll never forget it. And this was the first time I ever danced in shoes in my life. And then the clothes that the designer had us wear were too tight for me to move in.
So win, and win.
I was like, I can't win right now. Like, what's happening? So, and then I had a duet. So I had a duet with a boy. So now do I not only have to make up a routine, I have to make up a routine with a whole nother person that has no idea what they're doing either. An hour before the show.
How did it go?
It went good, actually.
I thought you were going to say it went downhill.
No, it didn't. It went downhill at first when we first started off, because we didn't know what we were doing. So we were basically like freestyling on the stage, but neither one of us know how to freestyle. So we standing there looking at each other for like a couple seconds. Like the music is playing, but we're looking at each other. Like he's on one side of the stage, I'm on the other. The curtain's open, nobody's on the stage. So we're just looking at each other. I'm like, you go. He's like, no, you go. I'm like, no, you go. Like, you're the man. Like, what you mean? He like, you lead. I'm like, but we talking across the stage. And I was like, oh my gosh. Some people saw me in the audience because, the curtain.
Yeah, you can see from the angle.
Oh my God. They're like, if y'all don't, they was like, oh my gosh. Like, the commentator was trying to hype them up because I was nervous. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Who went first?
We both wound up walking out at the same time.
Okay.
I just said, you know what, Alicia, just go. And when I walked out, he walked out. I mean, I slipped a little bit, but he caught me. And then after he caught me, we just went in after that. Like, we just let it flow after that.
Nice.
And that's when I realized, like, all right, Lay, you can be put in a sticky situation. So that was a profound moment for me because, like I said, junior year, I've never danced in heels in my life. This boy was twirling me around, and I'll never forget his name, Purnell. He was a twin. Burnell and Purnell were their name, and we actually went to Rosa Parks together.
Wow.
And then we wind up dancing in this show together, and I was like, all right, well, let's do it.
Dancing in heels.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Which is where we are right now.
Yes.
With Lele's movement.
Yes.
What's the name of your company?
Okay, so I have a company called Slay 12. It stands for...
Slow it down. Spell it out for them.
Slay, S-L-A-Y.
Slay 12.
12. 12 is my lucky number.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's the 12 for?
12 is my lucky number. That's the number I've had all my life through sports.
Okay.
And then if you add my daughter's birthday, the month and the day, you get 12.
Solid.
7 plus 5.
Okay. 12. Slay 12. The company. And your dance troupe is dancing in nothing but heels.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it didn't start off that way. it was all kind of dancing, to be honest with you, contemporary jazz, because that's what I was used to in hip hop. I started doing the heels. I honestly could say I started doing the heels about 5 years ago. It wasn't something that was in my repertoire, shall I say. And then I told you, I had a little situation with my hand. So I basically fell through a china cabinet and I hit the nerve, the tendon, the artery. I hit everything. So I had over 50 stitches in my hand. I had to learn how to use my right hand all over again. So I had to take like a year or two off physical therapy. I literally had to learn how to like grip a door. I couldn't pick up a piece of paper, a dime. You know what I mean? Like it was, I literally,
take for granted.
Exactly. So that kind of stagnated me a little bit, honestly speaking. So I can say, like I said, I took it serious about 4 years ago.
So as we get ready to close, I want to get the meat out of this. And when you say I took it seriously,
yes,
do you remember what you did?
I stepped back and stopped allowing other people to dictate to what my dream was.
SQR podcast, what a freaking jewel.
It's just, when you get in the entertainment field, you have a lot of people who are entertainers, a lot of people that mask themselves as entertainers, that they can get you here, they can do this for you, they can do that for you. Oh, let's collab on something, or get with my team and do this and do that. And sometimes you find yourself putting out more than you're getting, or you find them just piggybacking off of what you're doing or using your name, or basically just getting you in a room to get your ideas, and then they do nothing with you, but all your ideas go with them. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by I took it serious. I stopped talking and I started literally writing things down, and I just started manifesting them on my own. So I literally started investing in myself. Everything came out of my pocket. Everything came from me. Like, I run my own Instagram pages. I run all of that. Emails. I run everything. Because like I said, I got sick and tired of people piggybacking off of what I was doing. There were people making freaking hostings of me, and I wasn't even coming, but they were getting the money.
That's nuts.
You know what I mean? So it was that kind of situation. But it happens a lot. It's not unnormal.
No, but so here's the deal. You've experienced this. You've adjusted yourself. You've dominated in the field that you're in right now. Slay 12.
Yes.
Share with my audience where they could find you, how they could get in touch with you if they wanted to be a part of your production.
Okay. So Slay 12, like I was beginning to say, is very special to me. Because I've been a person to deal with depression. It's a campaign basically about, fighting against depression, fighting against, individuality. It stands for Stop, Listen, Attack, What's Yours.
Stop, listen, attack, what's yours.
Basically,
acronyms.
Like I said, that's just something that I've learned from experience. You have to stop. You have to listen to the people before you, the people after you. You know what I mean? You never know too much. You know what I mean? Like, you're sitting here in front of me, and I'm sitting here in front of you, but there's some things that we don't know.
And I just learned a lot from
you know what
right
I mean?
now.
So it's just like you can learn from anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. People learn from kids every day. Just like I told you, I learned from my child at that young age.
Because you're open.
You get what I'm saying? But being so blind and being so angry, anger can really block a lot of blessings.
You see, notice you've been dropping jewels nonstop through this entire
because
podcast.
It messed up my life. Like, anger problems and being mad at the world and being mad at things that I couldn't control.
Let it go.
It stagnated me. And that's why, another reason why I got serious about 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Because I was just so stern on, no, this is how I want it to be done. When it's like, no, you have to come in here and know that things are going to be ran a certain way before you can add your input to it. You know what I mean? Because the industry is already designed. You know what I'm saying?
The industry, classic jewels throughout. As we get ready to wrap on this, I ask you, there's 2 questions all my guests are asked as we close. I have the magic wand.
Yes.
Give it to you. You have 2 wishes. Only 2 wishes.
Jeez.
One of the wish can't be for more wishes. So don't be Jamaican on me, all right?
Because that's exactly what I was about to say.
I know. I already took that. That cannot be. You only have 2 wishes. Your first wish, Lele. And I like the fact that you're even pausing to think about this. Because
My
this is-
first wish?
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
2 wishes, whatever you want. Your first wish.
to bring my father back.
Bong.
I don't feel like he was done teaching. And not even just teaching me. Like, there are people that I've met in the streets. My dad was, that was his lane. He wasn't into the streets heavy, but he just knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
He was a DJ, so he knew a lot of the people in Paterson. But a lot of younger dudes that are younger than me have come up to me at my dad's funeral like, yo, your father really helped me do this, do that. That helped me realize and put into perspective how much of an influence he was to other people too. Even though I thought he was just this ball of anger,
Yeah.
it was like it was something else
Wow.
underneath that, so that was something that I wish that I could just bring him back, that knowledge, that wisdom.
I love the fact that you said to teach more. That's big. Your second wish.
Second wish. Jesus. This is hard.
No, it's not.
This is easy for y'all?
Yeah.
This is easy for y'all? This is easy?
It's not hard.
Because I can't
No,
think of a
but, yeah,
second one.
it's-
Because most people would say to be rich or be wealthy or something like that, but
What
I
would
feel like that
Lele
would
say?
come with work, but
Bong.
I don't know what the wish for.
Another jewel. And I'm glad you're really thinking about it, because you could have been nonchalant about it and say anything you wanted.
Right.
But the fact that you're really thinking about it really means that you're taking my
Because
question
I really got to
seriously.
think about this. That part, always done,
Yeah,
get up
yeah.
every day. That's it. See? I knew
SQR
somebody was going
podcast,
to
Cole
come.
Rosenberg, my girl Lele, laying everything out. Thank you so much for being here. We chopped it up.
Yes.
We got into the ingredients. Let them know where they could find you if they want to be a part of your dance troupe.
Okay, so my business page is Slay, SLAY 12 on Instagram. And my Facebook, they wouldn't allow me to have Lele because it wasn't my real name. So it's my real name on Facebook, Alasia Brown, ALASIA, Brown like the color.
Bong. SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg. Lele, check her out on Instagram. Follow her, be a part of her dance troupe, and
Yes.
bring your heels. You're in for a
Yes.
treat. 1. Bong. Good work, good work, good work, good work, good work. This is so classic.
Okay, 5, 6, ready, in. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Come on, stop. Come on, I just got it.
Come on. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you
Come
go.
this
There you
way.
go. Yes, baby, that's it. You're just missing your arm. Just throw your arm in here like, bah. Yes. Don't move that arm. Just,
Okay, all right, this arm only.
here,
Okay.
Next move. Out.
No, push the gun up, push the chest up.
Chest. So, here. See my foot?
Oh, the line you were talking about, the lines.
But you gotta be,
The
Yep.
lines. Okay, that's right.
So, 1, 2.
Oh, you're gonna start from
the
there.
beginning.
Okay, all right.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh shit, almost got it.
It's faster than that though.
Alright.
You wanna try tempo? Come on, tempo.
No, I can't do that. Go in. Go in. That shit is so hard.
They just smell good this back there, right?
It's-